Have you ever wondered what would have happened if Isagi joined Team X during the first selection? Would Isagi end up developing faster or not? How would this affect his relationship with Barou? Continue watching this video to find out. Before we talk about how the game of tag in Team X would go, let's first talk about what would happen in Team Z's perspective. So similar to my previous video on how Team V would be like with Isagi, without Isagi being in Team Z, it would be entirely different. Kira would not be easily convinced to join the Blue Lock program until Isagi and the rest enter the gate. However, surprisingly, Isagi isn't in the same room as Kira and would not know anybody in the room, so he observes the people around him for a bit. Soon after, he gets approached by Igarashi, who recognizes him. Igarashi then asks if he is Kira, the jewel of Japanese soccer. Kira is then flattered and seems to have found a potential friend in the room. Igo Jinpachi then interrupts their little conversation and then announces a game of tag, where the time limit is 136 seconds and whoever is it when the timer runs out will be removed from the team. Igarashi would still be the lowest ranked player in Blue Lock. The game of tag would then start with Igarashi in possession of the ball. He then targets Kunigami due to Bachara holding him off in hopes of getting rid of the ball. With Kunigami as the it, Igarashi runs away and hides behind Kira, asking him to help him. With the ticked off Kunigami, he aims for Igarashi and Kira gets out of the way, tagging Igarashi and making him the it once again. It would end with him being eliminated from Blue Lock and going back where he should have been all along. Now, when we take a look at the side of Team X, we don't really know any characters from this team aside from Barou with the addition of Isagi. With Isagi now in Team X, he would be the one in possession of the ball for the game of tag. With so much emotion going through him, he ends up missing his few attempts in tagging some of the Team X members. Barou then comes out of nowhere and criticizes Isagi, asking him if he really is a striker. This would then give Isagi flashbacks of his match against Kira and Matsukaze High School. With the ball still in the air from his previous shot attempt, he performs a direct shot towards a random member of Team X and then the timer runs out. Even in the end, Barou still seems unimpressed as that is what a striker should have done anyway. Now, we have the long-awaited match between Team Z and Team X. With Isagi now on a different team, both teams would be entirely different moving forward. Isagi would be one of Team X's midfielders with Barou as the sole striker. As the match starts, Team Z has possession of the ball with Kira as one of their forwards. However, the ball gets ambushed once again by everyone except for Barou, and Isagi sees this from afar and is impressed. Isagi then decides to push up the field with them and calls Barou for a pass. However, he ignores Isagi and goes for the shot to score the first goal of the match. Team Z would then continue to get destroyed for majority of the match up until Barou gets a rare miss due to Kira's desperate defense. Team Z would then find a glimpse of hope up until the ball lands near Isagi's position. Isagi then performs a direct shot just like he did during the game of tag to score his own goal and widen the gap. Barou then gets annoyed as that should have been his goal as he soloed Team Z throughout the whole match. With no chemistry between Team Z, they would get crushed 7-0 in this match. Isagi then walks up to Kira, who is frustrated on the ground, and looks at him without saying a word. Bachara would then go up to Isagi and tells him that he will make sure that he will get to play alongside him in the future. And this makes Kira even more frustrated. Under the pressure of Team X's demanding environment, Isagi would need to develop his physicality and adaptability further. He would need to balance his strategic play with the more aggressive, direct style of his new teammates. The intense competition within Team X could push Isagi to refine his ego and playstyle, blending his strategic mindset with a more assertive approach. This could make him a more well-rounded and formidable player. The presence of a dominant player like Barou would lead to some friction. With Barou's individualistic style and Isagi's team-oriented mindset, Isagi would have to climb to the top by either not relying on his teammates or forcing his teammates to rely on him. Next up, we have the match between Team X and Team W. A matchup that would show Barou and Isagi the importance of teamwork. Despite Team X having weapons in Barou and Isagi, their clashing ideas would just hinder them against Team W. Later in the game, Isagi would find a way to devour Barou by forcing his teammates to favor him over Barou, giving Barou less touches. Barou would then be enraged and go even harder, devouring Isagi. Despite the back and forth, the Wanama brothers' chemistry would be a bit too much for them to handle, as Team X and Team W would tie with a score of 3-3. Barou would then get pissed and cannot believe that a guy like Isagi is challenging him for the throne. Getting another loss in this match would deal a heavy blow towards Team X, so Isagi and Barou would have to lock in. In this match, we see more of Isagi's strategic mind as he goes up against another heavily coordinated team. Surprisingly, Isagi would create an opening for Barou and allow him to push through the field like he always does and score the game-winning goal. This would even shock Barou. Despite Isagi passing to him, Barou asks him if he gave up on trying to be a striker, and Isagi tells him that he just wanted to show his dog that he needed him in order to score. Team X would end up winning 3-2. Isagi's ability to see the field and predict plays would be a significant asset to Team X. He would act as a playmaker, setting up opportunities for his teammates and creating scoring chances. His vision and spatial awareness would help in coordinating attacks more effectively. Lastly, we have the match between Team X and Team V. This would be the battle of the top two teams. With Team V having information on how Team X plays, they would be shutting them down in the early half of the match, with an early score of 2-1 in favor of Team V. Despite Team X's playstyle already being known, Barou's unpredictability would still be a pain sometimes. Nagi would then be a huge problem for Team X, as literally nobody would be able to stop him, not even Isagi. With this, Isagi decides to adapt to what's happening and try to change the pace of the game. Isagi and Barou would then continue to battle for the throne but come up short in the end. Team V would win the match 5-3, leading to Nagi still remaining undefeated and not feel a single loss in his life. Because of this, he doesn't become interested in Isagi and continues to play the way he plays. In summary, Isagi joining Team X would significantly impact the interactions between Team X and Team V, leading to strategic depth, intense rivalries, and character development for players on both sides. However, Isagi's absence on Team Z would heavily hinder the growth of majority of the members on Team Z and some members of Team V as well. This turn of events would even heavily influence future arcs and characters in the story, such as possibly leading to a team up with Hitoshi Sai in the U20 team, or not even making it past the second selection. What do you think would have happened if Isagi ended up joining Team X instead? Would it have been the end of Kira? And if you have other what if ideas that you would like to see, let me know down in the comments. Have you ever wondered if Ness would team up with Isagi? Check this video out right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thank you for watching.